Yeah, so thank you for joining us today, and we're happy to share our experience in how play would make place in the city. So, the Hong Kong Public Space Initiative is a charitable nonprofit organization that, through research, education, and engagement on public space, we advocate better quality of public space in Hong Kong. One of our research focuses how play as a way of tactical urbanism promote interaction and provoke imaginations in public space. So in this section, we would discuss why we would adopt plays as a method, and two, how can play bring livelihood and impact to a place, and thirdly, our lesson learned from playing in the city. So the series starts with an idea of how may we activate underutilized space to encourage more usage and awareness. So we have tried to magnify some popular games, say Giant Jenga in this diagram and other games, and found a successful way in which people can engage in since then. We believe that play as a seed to induce interaction and create a place. Because of the joyful atmosphere or attracted by the cheer around the Jenga out of curiosity, play catalyze all sort of interaction from laughter or even chat with stranger. So play in the city is a source of livelihood that is not only benefit the children but also have a wider impact to the community and city. Taking this experiment in a downtown plaza, for example, beside participants who are enjoying the feel of Jenga, the ring of spectators gather around the scene for the unexpected event, and even some passersby slow down their pace and aware of the happening in the space. So, well, the influence of play spill over to many people beyond children. So here's another experiment we have conducted earlier this year before the COVID, where the cheerful ambience have drawn a large crowd of children and spectators to the scene. So how does play becomes a strategy of tactical urbanism? So throughout the last 5 years, we have conducted experiments in over 25 places of different character and typology, yet all of them are underutilized by public. So by the means of play, we draw people to the scene. Some interventions, notably Giant Jenga, are more successful than the others. So taking the example of um, Hmm. So we bring play and Giant Jenga to different typologies to question about our city space. So this is an example back in 2016 where we introduced play to temporarily pedestrianize one of the busiest roads over a weekend. The road has been occupied by heavy vehicular traffic, generates significant pollution in the CBD, and with in a place where there's limited public space. And organize and collaborate with the Friends of the VLC, we advocate pedestrianization of the road as an experiment for long-term change to our city. So, Jenkins suggests the possibility of place and visualize the long-term vision of pedestrianization to the public. So people and children gather and enjoy the livelihood of the place. So real-life experiment visualize our vision in the public space and get people to buy into our idea for changes in the city. And through play, they streamline the engagement of people of all age to voice out about our city. And we also question about other urban typologies, say private street. So in a dead-end private street, can it be a communal gathering space and play space as if a community's living room? And in the scarcity of public space, can we also make all of our premises like school be available to the public? And in other typologies, such as privately owned public space, can children and people really enjoy the quasi-public space without excessive interference from private management? So these are all the questions that we ask by bringing the giant Jenga and play in action in different parts of the city. And beyond play, the experiment itself, we start to see some interesting pattern. So our experiment always start with placing a stack of giant Jenga and children will be attracted naturally to it. In most of the experiment, we will suddenly see a twist as one of the children shown in this picture will suggest that, oh, how about we build something? Then, well, the children will start to, well, talk together and communicate, and it suddenly becomes a game of imagination, transforming the giant Jenga into creation that we have never been expected. Well, the play have been cataloged in this diagram, which, well, they turn Jenga into towers after towers, maze, or even fights with the paper blocks. So with more discussion and interaction and familiarity to the right-hand side of the spectrum, the, the creation of the Jenga shift towards the right side of the spectrum towards more creations and imagination. And across different spaces and typology, we also see different behavior. For, let's say, temporarily transformed public space in the city center, well, people tend to play the Jenga in a prescribed way. But when we move to some, well, public park, they start to become more, having more imagination on the Jenga. And in some places where, well, the children have, well, close connections and be acquainted of each other, well, they have the most, well, creative play, such as block fights, well, shown in this picture. So, well, when we are looking back to some literature, well, we found that, well, a good well, a good intervention can transform and induce discussion in the community, and it is recreated beyond our imagination such that people make their own place. So it relates back to theories such as affordance, where users discover potential quality out of the designed item. And we believe such applies to public space design and urban design too. So, well, through play, we wish to cultivate interaction and cooperation between people and ultimately make a place. So this is briefly what we have, well, observed from our experiment of play in the city of Hong Kong. So yeah, thank you.